I once made the mistake of asking someone a follow-up question. It started harmlessly. We were talking about sleep, and someone said, "I don't believe in alarms." I laughed, assuming it was a joke. It was not. They explained that alarms are unnatural and that your body knows when to wake up. You just have to trust it. I asked what happens if your body doesn't wake you up on time. They said, "Then you weren't meant to be awake." That sentence alone should have ended the conversation, but I kept listening. They went on to explain that snoozing an alarm is dangerous because it confuses your brain's time zone. Apparently, every time you hit snooze, your brain thinks it has traveled to a different country. I asked how many time zones the brain could survive. They said, depends on the person. Later, the topic somehow shifted to batteries. They believed batteries don't actually run out of power, they just get tired. According to them, if you let batteries rest, they recharge naturally. I mentioned rechargeable batteries. They said, exactly, proof. Then came the most impressive statement of the day. They claimed planes fly faster at night because the sun isn't pushing against them. I asked how the sun pushes planes. They said, gravity. I stopped asking questions. The conversation ended when they confidently said, "I don't use GPS because I don't like being tracked by satellites that can read thoughts." At that point, I nodded politely and walked away, because nothing I said was going to win against whatever was happening in their head.
That conversation taught me something important. Curiosity is great, but sometimes it's better to protect your peace. I once made the mistake of asking someone how their weekend was. They said it was stressful because their phone was acting weird. I asked what happened. They explained their phone battery kept dying faster than usual, so they stopped charging it fully to save battery for later. I asked what they meant. They said, if you charge it to 100%, you use it all at once. If you only charge to 50%, you still have the other 50% saved. I tried to explain batteries don't work like that. They nodded and said, that's what they want you to think. Then they added something worse. They said they turn their phone off at night so the Wi-Fi can rest. Apparently, Wi-Fi gets tired if too many people use it during the day. I stared at them. They continued, that's why internet is faster in the morning. At that moment, I realized I wasn't having a conversation, I was attending a lecture. Some people don't misunderstand technology, they emotionally negotiate with it. A group of us were talking about getting sick during winter. Someone said colds come from being cold, not viruses. A group of us were talking about getting sick during winter. Someone said colds come from being cold, not viruses, not germs, cold air. They explained that if you don't wear a jacket, the cold enters your body and settles. I asked where it settles. They said, in the throat. Then they warned us never to sleep with a fan on. Why? Because fans push sickness deeper into your organs. Someone else added that drinking cold water after hot food causes instant illness because your stomach panics. I asked how the stomach reacts. They said it shuts down temporarily to reset. I stopped asking questions. The final statement came when they said doctors don't cure people, they just scare the sickness away with prescriptions. At that point, I accepted my role as a listener, not a participant. That conversation taught me something important. Confidence is louder than facts and much harder to interrupt.